All right, today we're going to be addressing Ultimate Alliance campaign here and the different rates of plundering and individual points versus alliance points and kind of how things are calculated to my best understanding. So right now it's pretty early on in an Ultimate Alliance campaign, but we're kind of getting our butts kicked. Uh, we're in fifth. We're paired up against 3 or 4 C40s from what I've seen so far. Um, Anyhow, so the first thing to note is that when you are defending your own buildings, when you click on, let's say, our tower here, you can click garrison, and that's really not what you want to do. That would be garrisoning them for an event or to hide your troops, which isn't recommended. But that doesn't give you any individual points or your alliance any points for UAC. What you have to do is you select the building, you go to treasure details, and then you can add troops from there. Um, Unfortunately, it doesn't specify how many individual points you're going to receive for defending per minute. So you'd have to go ahead and take a look at how many individual points you have before, leave your troops in there for 5 minutes, and from there you should be able to gauge um, how many points you're receiving. But I do believe that the more treasure that's in the building, the more points you will yield per minute for defending it. So let's go ahead and look at some other kingdoms here so I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. And I'm presently zeroed, so there's not much to be lost here. Um, I let a C35 hit me over and over and over again just to see what would happen. But so we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to a different kingdom here. And it is important to note that with a lot of these kingdoms, at least we're getting paired up with, they're right on the edge of the Black Forest. If you are anywhere in the Black Forest and you get hit and burned, that doesn't mean you get zeroed or anything. It means if you get hit and burned, so if your troops are in a rally or if they're out reinforcing and then you get hit with an empty castle and your castle burns, you will get teleported back to your home kingdom. So here, okay, we have some different examples to look at here. Now, 100,000 treasure is the threshold for treasure in opponents' buildings and in your buildings with regards to stat boosts. So we're going to go ahead and look at treasure details, and then we're going to click on details down here. Now, it says building capacity 100,000. When it's in excess of 100,000 and it increases over time, uh, the benefits will vary. So if you are the plundering castle and it's over 100,000, then the alliance plundering benefits over here on the right will benefit you. You can see that the current treasure is beneath that 100,000 threshold, and thus the alliance defending benefits benefit, or that's where the benefit is. Um, and I assume that's to prevent serious mismatches from getting out of hand. It kind of gives you eventually a stat benefit. So if you get paired up with a monster, there's no way you can knock him out of the building. Well, eventually the stat boost will be so high, and the further you go from, I'm about to get hit again. The further you go from 100,000, the greater the benefit is. So if you're the plundering castle and they have, let's say, 200,000 treasure in there, your plundering benefits are going to be massive, and the defense benefits are going to be almost nothing. But what's also important to note here is that you can see what, under the treasure details, it will tell you. So they're over capacity, which means that your plundering speed is 1,349 treasure per 60 seconds. So in the further, again, and you can see that's an exact correlation to the treasure in the current building, which is 134,968. So for every 1,000 over the capacity, you receive 10 points, or 10 additional plundering points per minute, however you want to phrase that. Whereas if we go to this one with 98,000 or 99,000, you will see that your plundering speed is 998 treasure per 60 seconds. So you will acquire more points. Oh, I've been teleported back home. You will acquire more points and more treasure for your alliance when you are plundering a building with a higher treasure count. And if I'm not mistaken, the same applies to defending. If you are defending a building with a larger amount of treasure, you will receive for yourself and for your alliance more points per minute. And that's pretty much the gist of this. I could show you in a couple different other examples here, but that's the main function here. Again, any questions, let me know and I'll try to answer.